Oh, here we are again now, and it's like no time has passed. Gazing out upon the sunset as it sinks into the night. Many times it seemed as though a given day might be our last. Face to face with certain death, it's somehow coming out alright. I don't think that we have any cause to lament, but there's quite a lot of thrilling intent, thrilling intent, thrilling intent, thrilling intent.
You spent some time finishing off your picnic so lovingly supplied to you by a member of the Reforged Legion. It was delectable. Actually, for some of you, the first good food you've had in a good while. For Marcus, just earlier today, actually, you remember eating with these people. To them, however, it's been weeks.
Gods above and below, it has been the same day as when I was running away from horrible, unspeakable hell monstrosities. How has this all been one day?
Yeah, Marcus, I was kind of wondering about that. Like, we've had time to sort of, like, internalize and process what occurred during Castle Crowhenge. You doing okay, man?
Yeah, you need to take, like, a nap or something?
You gotta take a nap.
Naps are for nappers.
I've gotten pretty good at making people take naps.
Don't worry. I wholeheartedly believe in the necessity and like the power of a good nap. But honestly, I'm wide awake. I'm gonna sleep like a log and probably an entire tree's worth of logs tonight. But
if I'm not mistaken, and one log is just one tree. Am I crazy?
I mean, I feel like you refer to an entire tree as like an entire ass tree and not one log.
I think it depends on where the logs come from. You can get multiple logs from multiple trees.
I feel like also log implies a certain degree of processing and manufacturing.
Oh, I suppose.
Where do you get your logs?
Trees.
Does a log have to specifically come from a trunk, or at what point does it become a stick?
See, I've wondered that for years.
It's got to be a width thing, right? Because I feel like if it's larger around than the circumference of, like, I don't know, the average person's thigh, then it's definitely a log.
It's so curious because we have stick, twig, and then we go to log, which seems like a drastic increase in size, but it is...
What about branch? I think branch might be in between those.
Very important. That's completely
Whose thighs
different.
are we talking about? Are we talking about Mercy thighs, or are we talking about Marcus thighs?
Excuse me?
Okay, you know when I say the average person's thigh, that we are not talking about Marcus thighs. Come on.
Inian grips her own thigh in the background and is just like,
Mercy just pats her on the shoulder. One day you'll have logs like me.
You just have to keep eating your vitamins.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, these two ASMR down here are actually chatting, like, pretty pleasantly, and they look over at Mercy sometimes and sort of smile and then move away. You feel a sense of relief move through the camp, actually.
I'm jealous. I wish people smiled at me.
Inian smiles at you.
Yeah, I smile at you, Harlock. Unless you're, like, harming us.
If I had to guess, Harlock, you're the kind of person that people smile at you when you aren't looking because they don't want to embarrass you.
I'm always looking.
That's exactly the problem.
That explains the issue, Harlock.
All right, every once in a while I'll close my eyes and I expect 10 smiles.
I'm sure you get them plenty of times.
This feels like a trick.
No, it's a nice change of pace to see everyone in much higher spirits than usual. She turns and smiles at all of you, and make sure to smile big at Harlock to make them...
You don't know how much this means.
Well, I just really appreciate all of the supplies and just your assistance in general, because honestly, had you folks not been there, I think it would have been a lot messier. So, thank you.
Hey, fighting monsters is what I do.
I noticed.
He's great at it, and your help was greatly appreciated as well in that regard.
She just gives a small salute and bows. Well, I guess really the next thing is figuring out what we want to do, and
Can we see the tower? I want to see this tower.
It's
Can I
actually
touch
not a
it?
bad idea. We do have quite a bit of daylight if time is moving at a regular rate now for all
Have
of
you
us.
taken samples of its walls at all? Because I can bring a chisel.
Well, I won't lie. One of the things I was hoping to do while you were here was to check out the tower. It's something that we've been meaning to do, but we are already spread thin trying to maintain a front line in general for this, and if I try to go in with some of my best of the best, that leaves our forces pretty weakened. Sure, we have numbers, but so do they.
If I remember correctly, you also mentioned that attempting to approach it has so far led to just more attacks from the tower itself.
Well, possibly that's what causes more attacks against us. Not to mention, actually getting to the tower, it seems simple until the bell rings, which I know in hindsight, wow, that seems pretty obvious, Mercy. But you need to understand, when this thing came down, the entire area around it is basically an open field, and you have seen their precision with throwing spears, which they have in unlimited number, it seems. It is incredibly dangerous to approach. However, with a small group of, well, I would like to say experts in the field, I am optimistic that we can get a bit closer, do at least some research, and then, as much as I'd love to go in, I think it would be wise to retreat and take the information we have to educate the rest of our front lines.
We did this kind of thing all the time in the Outriders. We'd send in a group of our most elite, hit them hard, and then come back.
Yes, that's us, just like the Outriders.
Mercy spins. Outriders? That is a name I have not heard in quite some time.
Oh, well, they haven't been around for a little while.
Nope. Damn shame.
No, I agree. That is a shame. I must admit, that boosts my confidence quite a bit to have one with us.
Yeah, the only one, in fact.
Oh,
You have a favorable opinion of the Outriders?
well, they protected people. Why wouldn't I?
They did.
Oh, good.
No, I'm sorry. I don't mean to say that as though it's a surprising thing. We've just
Some people have been corrupted by nasty lies, by nasty liars.
exactly that. Yeah, no, we've met some people who have been eating up the church's propaganda, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yes.
I mean, I don't think that's a euphemism for anything, Marcus. I think you just stated what you meant.
Yeah. I'm starting to think that the sleep deprivation might be catching up to me.
You're going to need a nap, mister.
I am, but I really want to see that tower first. Also, that was a yes on bringing the chisel, right?
That was definitely a yes, and he puts a hand on your shoulder.
Excellent.
There is a puff of embers in her hand, and you see that she has a chisel. Yes, I think that's
Ooh.
wise.
That's handy.
Indeed.
Although I suppose if we're going to observe and then retreat, we probably won't get up close enough to take samples, but I figure why not come prepared.
I mean,
If we're going
good
to
idea.
approach, I'd really prefer to do it as quietly as possible. I'd prefer that we try to stay undetected just to see how good they are at visualizing incoming attackers.
That's one idea, but do you have any horses?
Mercy
Now,
thinks.
Gregor, this isn't an attack, and we're going with a small group, I assume.
Yeah, we're going out, but we're not riding.
You don't have to attack, Marcus, but this is an attack.
Gregor, this is not an attack. This is a recon mission. We're doing reconnaissance. We're observing, and we're gathering intelligence so that we can more effectively attack with more people later.
Oh, you know what? I'm really seeing the Outrider in you. Yes, you're a go-getter. No, this is Recon Boy.
We did plenty of recon.
Oh, but here's the difference to help separate it. We have done recon for the enemy. She gestures to the body on the cart. This is for their base of operations.
Well, yeah, we want to get there fast, not get hit by spears, attack a little bit, just a little bit, and come back fast.
I see. I've had people like you. Give me a moment. She claps her hands together and thinks, I think it would be wise to just do recon for this time, simply because the next time that we go to do recon, she does quotation marks with her hands, we can bring a larger number of people, and with our chisel sample, if we do get that close, we can figure out a weak point. In fact, we'll have already damaged their defenses at that point.
Good point.
All right, have it your way. This is your show. Just we have different definitions of recon.
Interesting.
I feel like there's only one definition of recon, but
Well, no, I hope you're right and we don't get attacked. But we're gonna get attacked.
I'm not saying that it's impossible that we'll get attacked. I'm saying that we should not personally charge the tower on this outing. Specifically.
I'm trying not to get noticed is all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I like Harlock's idea. I'm with Team Stealth Grass, which I assume we're going to be crouching through some grass,
Is
right?
that what I called it?
It's an open field, though. It's gonna be hard to be stealthy, but all right.
Yeah. Hence the grass. Come on.
Mercy puts a hand on Gregor's shoulder. Believe me, I would love to go in and smash him up real good. However, I think it would be wise to simply procure information. Also, gods, I hope that field isn't dry for the grass because, she gestures to herself, I just kind of light things on fire. So
I don't blend into grass too well myself.
Now, wait, hold on. Have you considered that as an avenue of attack?
I feel like that's a fire that would spread much further than just the tower.
You don't have like control over the fire, like you can make it stop and go in different directions or anything?
Oh, I do. Don't worry. Like, it's to an extent.
Ooh.
There are some limitations.
An entire burning prairie is maybe above your abilities.
Oh, once that fire starts, there's nothing I could do about that. But
Yeah.
and
It's
besides,
like having control over a stove.
and she gestures to her hands, which you see the metal gauntlets, and you now notice that like where the gauntlet ends on her arm, there is like this faint frosty blue. And Marcus, you remember when you held her hand, it was actually shockingly cold. I need these because at this point in my life as a Forge ASMR, my hands are basically just molten steel. So they will burn people if I don't do this.
That sounds better than just having one steel hand.
But if you take them off, then you can forge them into glaives.
Gregor has a point.
I think it's time for the gloves to come off.
No, the gloves are clearly very important. We can make glaives with other gloves.
Don't worry, there are definitely times where the gloves need to come off. Not in a field that might be dry. So, well then.
You're a very considerate leader, Mercy. I'm very glad that we were able to meet up with you.
She puts a hand on her chest. Thank you so much.
That's why we chose this faction.
We didn't choose this faction. We are our own faction. We are impartial mediators who are
I'm
currently...
going to be honest, I'm pretty good with choosing one faction. I don't feel like starting my own faction this time.
That's okay. You do you. I am my own faction. I am attempting good relations with all available parties, the ASMR included.
If you're just one guy, you're not really a faction.
Yeah,
you're
and
more
we
like,
only
I'll
have
join-
good relations with one party.
I'm joining this faction. I'll be in
Two
your
people.
faction,
Two
Marcus.
people's a faction.
That's more like a couple.
Okay.
Ooh, we're a couple.
You don't have relations with anybody else.
No, but we have met them, and we have already. As I've already stated, we're not here to bargain for any one group above the others. We want everybody to
Didn't
get
you fight those farmer bandits?
only a little bit, and then we let them take. Then we let them take what was rightfully theirs because it was stolen from them in the first place.
And why'd you punch him in the face?
Well, they were stealing stuff that I didn't think was theirs to steal. Turns out it was.
You've done more damage to the people of Tannhauser than any of us.
Oh boy, I feel like this is going to spiral into shit we don't need. Let's go.